Hi, everybody. This is Tom. Welcome back. And today I want to talk to you about a play called The 39 Steps. I hope you've seen it because it's really, really good. It's excellent. The 39 Steps by Patrick Barlow is a comedy parody of the 1935 Hitchcock film, 39 Steps. Now, I like this piece because you can do it minimally and it's hilarious. So there's the lead, male, there's a lead female who plays three different women. Okay, so there's different accents there. There's a murder. He has to solve it. And there are two other characters. There are two other actors that play multiple parts. Sometimes they change parts within seconds of themselves in the same scene, which is already hilarious. How are you going to do that? The costumes are minimal. With the multiple characters, you need something that's very quick changey very quickly. Do you know what I mean? So, what are you going to put the woman in that is her base costume, and how will she change into these other women? Will she just change the chop? Is it a scarf? Is it sunglasses? Is it accent? I recommend accent. Each woman has a very different accent than the other, okay? And different mannerisms, different ways of holding her hands, that kind of thing. Different purses, very different. The other two actors have to change so radically that you need to figure out costuming or what you want them to do. Again, accents work, but since it's so rapid, sometimes there's no time to really change their mannerisms, the way they stand. As we know, male characters have less accessories than female characters. Just putting on a pair of glasses may not mean anything to the audience, like he's a different character. Shifting your weight and having a different stance, it's too quick in this play to really get it. So what are you going to do? Is it a hat? Is it a scarf? Is it a vest? Is it a jacket? What will it be? Is it a reversible jacket? That works really good. That works really well. It is a hilarious play for people. So they're, cost-wise, actor-wise, you're just paying for the four exceptional actors, and they need to be exceptional. There's a lot to do in this piece, a lot to do. And you need someone with stamina. They all have so much to do. There's so much running around. There's so much rapid fire speech. You need really good people. It doesn't really have age constraints. Stamina is the thing. So you decide how old you're going, what background you're going, that kind of thing. The minimal set has to be very minimal just because there are so many changes of location. There's a lot to do with riding in a car, and most productions just have four chairs in a lineup as if they're in a sedan. That's about as much as you're doing. Now, would they do like the steering wheel and the bounce, bounce, bounce on a bumpy road? However you want to do it, or they all turn with the wheel, however you want to do it. It should be comedic. The spy comedies are good, and I believe that people think it's all in the writing. I don't need to do much with it as far as body action, but you do with this one. You really do. It's more than just the accents changing, the actors changing, character. There's more than just reversible coats, and you know what I mean? There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more running around. But sometimes with the spy comedies, people sort of have the mindset with the directing or producing it that just the running around and this and that will denote what's happening. It's funny enough. You need to go the full hog on this one and really look at every aspect of the characterizations of these people. The different characters need to be radically different from each other, okay? The single male, the lead male, only plays the one character and has the bulk of the lines, of course, the lion's share of the lines. And so the hilarity of him running around and being frustrated and so forth, it tends to be hilarious and then amusing and then smirky. The levels dip down in the comedy. So you need to ramp it up. The play ramps it up on itself with plot and story and lines, but you need to bring it back up so that it works with all of it. You can't lose energy or treat the second act like, we've established what this is. They're laughing. We're golden. We don't have to work as hard on the second act because the second act of most plays or musicals are usually more interesting than the first, or more hilarious, or the situations are more hilarious. But you need to keep the energy up, the jokes coming, and the surprises coming. What I mean by surprises is that your movements of the actors changing character need to be just as funny. The different characters they're playing need to be just as fleshed out as the first ones they're playing, the first switches from the first act. Do you see what I'm saying? Often in plays where multiple characters are coming out of one actor, the exposition in the first act is longer, so they get longer time in those characters in the first act. Sometimes 5 to 7 minutes. When that character in that same actor returns for the second act, his hilarity, his character is established, and oftentimes he just comes in for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I've got a joke, I've got a one-liner, I've got a situation, and you already laughed at me in the first act, so you're just going to laugh at me in the second act. And despite our best efforts, we don't work as hard to make it just as good in the second act because we've already established that this character is funny. He's comedic. They're comedic. So it's something we don't talk about quite a bit because we often are like, it's set in motion. They'll just go with us. And we don't have the thought in our head. We don't have to work as hard. You never think that, but it happens. Or the actor themselves is not as interested in the one-liner because the line itself should take care of the jokes. But these lines, it's not Sophia on the Golden Girls where she just comes out with a one-liner and she's dry. She's established for all the shows beforehand that this is her kicker. Okay, so we know what's happening with the kicker. What we forget about is that she's hilarious, but the setup of the situation and the other actors reacting to that one-liner with her dry delivery is good. So that's a long history of this character is comedic. When you're having a play or a musical, you don't have that long period of this character that comes in and out once in a while is hilarious. Each time they need to treat that line like it's precious and really give it their all. And you need to craft that joke every time, especially with multiple characters, because it gets frenetic in this show. It gets running around, really amazing. And you can get lost when you're playing multiple characters in the same actor. You could be an excellent actor. You could be amazing. But if you're playing 7 or 8 different roles in that one show, there may be one character that you think, this guy is less casual, this guy is less immediate, he's less sock him to me jokes, and the writing itself will take care of it. Pay attention to everything. 39 Steps is an excellent piece. You don't need much of a set. You don't really need much costumes. There are multiple costumes, of course, but it is a crowd pleaser. And I think especially if you have a small stage, if you have a studio theater or a black box, a 100-seat house, a 200-seat house, you're in the round, it all really works for that. And there aren't a lot of pieces that flex in and out of that kind of piece. You can do it anywhere. And the closer they are, the audience, the better. Some people don't do it this way. I think it really benefits the piece. You don't need projections behind you. You don't need tons of fancy lighting. You don't need fog machines. You can do all that. It's not gilding the lily, But just remember, it's mostly about the acting. Okay? Basic, really good lighting to really get the point across. Really good sound effects. This is where your sound designer can go crazy. Really good sound effects. And the minimalism just really works for it. Don't phone it in. Make sure your minimalism is quality minimalism. You can't just pull any chairs out of your rehearsal room and have them on the stage. This is a period piece. Strong wooden chairs that they can jump on, they can stand on, they can do that, would be good. Metal chairs? No, too much noise. You have to think about all these kind of things, especially in a play where it's about voices and accents and your sound effects. The way your set and props sound on stage, especially the closer you are with the audience, the more you have to think about all of the sounds that are coming from your stage. Okay? Shoes that don't clack, clack, clack across the stage. Okay? Shoes with dance rubber or grip on the bottom. You need that for this action play. Okay? It's a period piece. The woman has lots to do. She doesn't need really, really high heels. If you've watched my other videos, you know I'm really against that. She needs solid, firmly on her feet, lower heels that she can run in and dance. Okay? She's not dancing, but depending on what you're doing, she might do a little jig. Just depends. That would make it even funnier. I'm getting distracted because my friend did this show and they had her do a little jig. I'm like, where would you put that? But it really worked. And it happened a few times, and I'm not going to tell you where because it's up to you to decide how you want to do this piece. Okay. Check it out. All the description, the links to the show, the link to the script, a link to some reviews will be in the description. You'll see it's for you. It's a good piece, and I think can be done in any city, in any country, because everybody watches Hitchcock. Globally, they're all familiar with Hitchcock films, and a parody of a Hitchcock film on stage will sell anywhere. Really. Really. So think about it for your company, and tell me what you think in the comments. All right, please subscribe. We'll talk again. Thanks.